Ooh, yet another day, yet another couple dollars. Turns out that my grand plan of not bringing my laptop with me when I went to my friend's house an hour and a half away this weekend was not really a good idea, because for some reason, at least for this iPhone 14 Pro here, yeah, it just does not seem to want to upload the YouTube videos, which kind of sucks, because I guess that means I've broken my 90-day streak. But did I? I don't know. Well, my 90-day posting streak, but my 90-day filming streak did not break that. But it is what it is. So I guess another day where I'm not really exactly sure what direction this video is going to go in, but I will say, as someone who has been spending a lot of time really trying to figure out what meaningful stuff I can accomplish with AI tools out there, I would definitely say, if you have a little bit of extra time, if you feel like you want to possibly find new ways to make money or just change the process of your future and not have to necessarily get a degree to do it, I would certainly check those out to be vague. I may or may not post later my journey of building out these tools and building APIs between them. If you don't know what an API is, it's like building a bridge between two softwares and making them work together to do what you want them to do. So that's kind of my whole thing right now, and hopefully I'll get to a point of understanding and being able to fix the stuff, build the stuff to where I can hopefully start selling it. And it's happening a lot quicker than I thought it would. I mean, a week ago I had really no idea what was truly possible. I mean, I thought there was things possible based off of what I know about technology and software, but I had no idea a week ago what it was possible for me to do with AI. And I already have my MVP, so my minimum viable product, my minimum viable product, which is what you probably want to get with a lot of this stuff, especially with software, is get an initial offering. Maybe that's not the way you say it, because I know an initial public offering is if you become a public company, and then people who are not your original founders or just strangers can then invest in your company, stuff like that, etc., etc. So I've already got a product that is ready to sell after, like, I would say, 3 hours. And a lot of the 3 hours was me just making mistakes or not clicking right buttons. So, I mean, if I, a tanker truck driver who has never really been in the software development or creation space, which is the same thing, can do that, you probably can too. And I do want to keep it vague because, I want to build my moat, okay? And all I have is the foundation of my castle. I have many rooms to build, and I have to put my knights and my knightsmen and my archers on the walls, and I gotta put alligators around the castle in the water, and I gotta get barbed wire and electric eels, and I gotta do all kinds of things to make this work, because I guess the one thing that I have going for me right now, because AI, especially AI right now, is the great equalizer. That if you have the time, you have the patience, you can retain information, and you can just follow steps. I mean, bruh, you can really do some things that even 3-4 years ago, just we never thought was possible. Everything that we said AI was not capable of doing is starting to do. Like I talked in my last video that I posted, or 2 videos ago. I don't think the one posted yet, so I guess it'll be 2 videos ago for you guys. It feels like a lot of these people who went to college got all these qualifications, you know, spent years building out these skills and the careers that they did. Hold up, I gotta fix my lighting here. Oh god. And this Lume Cube, that was 4%, and I just feel like it's way too bright. So we're gonna go down to 1%. And I think 1% is actually enough. 1% with the most yellow setting. That's what this is. Whatever that is. The warmest setting. Because cool and warm, yeah. So, I know I'm not really saying things that are very valuable here, and I'm being kind of vague. Because I am low energy right now, and I did go out and have some drinks this weekend, and by drinks I had way too many, which I don't usually do very often, and I threw up everywhere. And it's not cute, I'm not bragging about it, I don't think it's funny. That's just what happened, and usually it's Tuesday or Wednesday before I get out of the fog. But even with that, you know, truck driver, not a lot of qualifications, no degree. I have been able to create an automation that a lot of companies would pay good money for because it's a huge part of their process. And I was going to spill more, but not yet, not yet. So this is not really going to be a AI focused channel, but I will definitely talk about it here and there because it has become a big part of my day to day. A lot of what I think about, and is kind of really assisting on my path forward. It's, you know, helped me kind of do a small version of what Elon Musk says, which was, fuck being patient. How do you accomplish your 10-year goal in 5 months? Now, the likelihood of you being able to, well, 6 months, the likelihood of you being able to accomplish your 10-year goals in 6 months is unlikely, but you'll be a lot further than those who just said that's going to take 6 months. That's actually something I heard the other day and I haven't thought about much, and maybe that's what I'm going to try to do because I have 4 months here before I start school. And during that 4 months, I might be able to make something happen to where I don't need school. But we will see. You know, we will see. But that being said, what can I pull off the top of my head that you guys would find value in? Well, we talked about how nice guys can possibly finish first occasionally. If you were to find the secret Krabby Patty recipe or the formula to be able to, you know, at least get that initial interest and, you know, keep it. How ChatGPT 5.0 just dropped the Molotov cocktail on thousands of people in their careers. We also talked about several other things in the first videos, talking about how Steve Bartlett decided to take away my life of just being a peon and boring and unaccomplished, and now I'm here. You know, I finally got hours that I want. I got a good raise and good pay, so I can put a lot of time aside to be able to go on this journey. I just do want to find a balance between, you know, catching up with some relationships while also doing that, because I've put my relationships to the side for too long, and there's at least some that I want to keep up with. So there's that. I'm also really going to try to start taking the gym seriously. Right now I feel like I look kind of fat, or, you know, like skinny fat right now, but, you know, I get a pump. I like the way I look, but, you know, doing a little bit of working out to try and see if I could possibly reach my genetic potential. I'm going to hold this here because I know that this damn phone's going to fall off. So there's a lot that I'm juggling right now. The health stuff, the wealth stuff, and everything else is going to be the put on the shelf stuff, I guess. And yeah, well, maybe this is not really a post-worthy video, but I'm trying not to lose track of my goals right now, because really the thing that I'm trying to accomplish with all this, or the things that I'm trying to accomplish, or that are my main priorities, are not to really create a channel or a brand. That's just something I'm going to, I want to document everything in my own way and build a habit around it as somebody who is used to working from the time that I basically get out of bed until the time I go back to sleep that day, and have not really built conducive habits to be able to do all these small things in between, because my whole life was just two things, keeping up with my health and then making sure that I was making as much money as possible, and to realize that didn't really make me happy, it's not sustainable, and I don't want to do it in the career that I'm in. So there's that. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it seems like there is more and more crazy weather going on. There's a Reddit forum, I think it's called Crazy Weather. Yeah, it's Crazy Weather Reddit, and it just shows these places all around the world every day that are having these things going on. Now, I don't really have a frame of reference, or anything to, I guess, relate it back to, but it seems pretty wild. Although I did ask Grok. I went to Grok. I went to Grok 4, not the heavy, but just Grok 4, and it did this detailed analysis of, the historical data of weather, temperature, precipitation, all that, and from what I read of it, it actually seems like it hasn't changed that much over the last 100 years. But I also was half asleep, and it was a lot. It was like a scientific breakdown, which is what it's meant for, but like it really dove deep, and it used a lot of words that I don't even think were words. I think it was just trying to show off, and it did an analysis to assert its dominance on me, and I wasn't willing to do the full read. So yeah. So takeaways here: AI. You can be seemingly simple, basic, not really all that smart, and accomplish things that business owners are willing to pay for in a couple days if you just take the time to, honestly, just read the steps. You don't even have to fucking know what you're doing. Just follow the checklist, and then boom, you have an automation. You have a thing. So, yeah. But like I said, we're gonna try to do better. I'm gonna make sure that I have, more of a uniform way of know what I'm talking about before I just turn the camera on, because at this point it's more of a, I'm going through my day, I'm building this business, I'm working out, trying to juggle relationships, also trying to plan out my path forward for school, getting my calories in, all that stuff. But like I said, and I believe my first or second vlog is or short or whatever the hell we want to call it, that I don't generate excuses, I generate results. Well, I am generating excuses, and we will do our best to show you real time. But I think this is good. I actually like having these unfiltered, uncut videos of this time where you guys will be able to see. Yeah, well, I did order a phone case from Peak Design, so that won't happen anymore. Because that's really annoying, and one of these days it's going to snap off my thing from my microphone, and then it's going to cost me all the monies. But I like having these unfiltered, uncut videos for you guys to be able to look back on and see, wow, that guy is not really that competent, not really that smart, and at the time that you watch it, say I have 100,000, 200,000, a million, a couple million, a couple 100 million followers, whatever, you guys will be able to see that I was nothing special when I started out. And it does take a little bit of a strike to the ego and a little humility to, I guess, do that. Because having a lack of, I don't know, I've just always been the type of person to where I guess I show highlight reels. Or, put on a veneer for being real. Something that, it's kind of, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't usually admit that. But I think it's an incredibly powerful part of the process to show that if I can do it, you can, because I'm really not one of those guys. It seems like everybody that I've watched and looked up to that said they came from nothing at one point or another, you know, they really did well. You know, I think really the only person that I've seen that has, you know, truly came from nothing and then also wasn't that competent, but is also like world renowned. I know this is controversial, but I think is Jake Paul. You know, because he wasn't that smart in school. He's a C student. His mom was a nurse. His dad was a blue collar worker who, you know, cleaned out houses. And nothing against that, but you know, the fact that he was able to come from that to be to one of the most disciplined, hardworking people who is a part of this generation maybe ever. And now he's making $40-50 million a year through boxing. You know, he was able to get on the Disney Channel and all the other stuff. I know that people would maybe look at that as you know, he had it easy, which, you know, maybe he did. The Disney Channel thing definitely helped. But in order to do that, you have to be able to remember lines, have a personality about you, show that you're competent. You can show up every day and you can provide extreme value to Disney Channel and to the people that watch it, because if you don't, you're going to get axed, and, you know, somebody else in the hundreds of thousands and millions of kids who would love to be in your spot will step up that day. So there's that. Other than that, I mean, it seems like most of the other people, you know, they came from like a pretty middle class or strong household, and their parents were there and stuff, which I'm not saying it was easy. You know, Mr. Beast, he's a single mom and he got to where he was at, and, you know, I think A-Rack, you know, similar thing, but all these people had a certain amount of stability to them. I've never seen anybody who had the upbringing that I have had and, you know, made it to the top. At least in the top in the field that I want to make it in. You know, you could definitely have... There's a lot of people who have had the upbringing that I've had, and, you know, they're like become world-class martial artists and, you know, hand-to-hand combat experts. So, yeah, here we are. Just talking in circles, unfiltered, uncuts, no real veneer. You can see, you know, maybe I'm not the stupidest person, but I'm also not the most intelligent, and see where that leads to, based on, you know, just consistency, and then trying to do a little bit better every video until eventually I'll either get an audience or I won't, and I'll just have a bunch of videos of me looking like a jagoff online that will never go away and follow me for the rest of my life. So hell yeah. But if you want more stuff like this, to where you see me developing over time, being able to learn real time what it's like to juggle all this stuff while recording everything and see my journey, make sure to like. If you think that I suck and I should just quit now, definitely dislike. Negative comments always welcome. And after that, we will go ahead and ask you to leave a comment about anything that you think I could possibly do better, because I would love a nice little feedback loop, or things that maybe you want to hear me talk about, or just encouragement, or tell me I suck and quit now. All that stuff. I'm ready for it. Definitely do not hit the bell, because I did not earn that from you yet. I did not earn the right for you to be walking along at work, in the gym, at school, and then all of a sudden when I post a video it comes up. Didn't earn that yet, so don't do it. Thank you, and peace.